Another opportunity that's kind of out of the way is that everyone knows, I think most people know that YouTube has their own ads channel, like ads platform, the unskippable ads that you see all over the place. But YouTube also has a feature to boost your content, which is great because this is search traffic, just like Google. I can literally spend $20 or $50 to boost it locally to my market. A YouTube video, and YouTube to some degree is a lot less strict than Facebook with their content. So I've given you the step-by-step boosting instructions here so you can kind of go back over later on when you download the slides and you're ready to implement this. But when it actually comes to looking at, I'll show you the actual images here. When you're back in your YouTube back office, you're going to see this YouTube studio to the right. You tap that, and then you can't find the boost option as easily as you can on Facebook. It's just so hidden and out of the way. So here's how to do it, essentially. Once you tap the content, you tap these three dots again. Follow the slides when you're ready to do this. But I want to show you the actual targeting. You'll see the promote option finally. And then it brings you to a page where now it says Google AdWords. It's all ran through AdWords. And you have a couple options to be able to drive people to the video itself, to your website if you want to. If you've set up some type of landing page or registration, you can bring people there. And we can also choose everything from the thumbnail images, the headlines, just like you would a normal ad there. But we can also select the targeting. I can target by postal codes, YouTube search advertising. So if somebody is searching for, let's say, best chiropractors in Atlanta on Google, I can target those Google searchers and have my YouTube videos appear next time they search YouTube. That's extremely powerful. And I can guarantee you most of your competitors are probably not doing this stuff because it's so out of the way you can't even find it. I think it's probably in the last year or so. But you're not going to know what's there, but you can start with smaller budgets to begin to test different types of content. And then when you're ready, by all means, you can go back into your regular Google AdWords manager or talk to your company if you have a company that manages your Google AdWords for you and really start to devote a lot of budget. But we know YouTube is the second largest search engine online, so you absolutely would want to take some of your content and start to really put it out to your audience. Remember, one of our goals is to, even if we suck initially on the front end of the direct response marketing, we can always test and get better at that stuff. But eventually over time, the longer you run ads on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Google, you basically dominate the market. So if you have your ideal audience tapped in, like many of you right now, who was I speaking with? Last night it was actually Dr. Greg. He's like, I just saw you everywhere. I'm like, who's this guy? I gotta contact him somehow. It was interesting. But that's how many of your clients or patients are going to be as well. They're going to see you all over the place. And eventually, you're going to have this saturation. You'll hit a tipping point in the marketplace where you almost become like a household name, local celebrity. And that's exactly what you want. When I started, I utilized this in my business, for example. Initially, I was targeting chiropractors with Facebook and content and whatnot, and then that branched into entrepreneurs and other people. But after a year, 2 years, or whatever or so, people come up to you and like, oh, I see your stuff all over the place. I love that you did this and that, and you'd be amazed in how that customer journey goes. Sometimes it's very fast. Other times, people need to see you 20, 30 times before they take the action. But nonetheless, you build a brand equity in the marketplace. And I used to think branding was bullshit for a long time because I'm a small business. We need to make money now. But when it actually kicks in for your brand, it's just a cool thing. You're out and about at the grocery store, and you just get approached in a really good, positive way. And they might not need you now, but they will. So it's just something to really think about. You should always have some type of spend allocated to building your brand and audience, regardless if it pays off or not. And if you're bootstrapping to start off with, maybe you don't have a lot for the branding element. Maybe it's just a few $100s a month, but eventually evolve that. So with YouTube, again, you can target by ages. You can actually go into more of specific interests. Run the ad consistently or set an end date just like you would do a boost on Facebook. And of course, they show you what a preview looks like. Here's how it's going to look, and then you can go ahead and test it out and see if it works for you. Really, really simple stuff. But it is worthwhile testing because so very few are utilizing this option on YouTube. And by the way, again, if you're targeting a more national-based business, the same exact thing applies. You can target keywords accordingly. Yes?
I was just showing Tad Sear the thing you were talking about, the post or whatever. Yeah, on March 29th, 2019, I don't know, messengered Matt, you are everywhere. Would you be available to talk? And then finally about July, we, after a couple back and forths, we were able to hook up. And that was a few years ago now, and boy, I've come a long way, so appreciate you.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And you'll have to talk with Dr. G. He's got some amazing success stories. There's so many people, as you speak with them, you're going to say, well, I wasn't doing social media this way, and now I was doing it this way. I worked with Dr. Loop, and boom, things went really, really high. And some of you, it's going to take a lot longer because your markets are extremely competitive. But I don't want that to discourage you, because you should always be testing content, and whoever's most consistent will win, period. Always happens. So it's just a matter of being consistent and not giving up, essentially.